Decided what to eat yet, hun?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
and getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be, is the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley got it all about the flavor. Shirley never let me down. When I lime it at the beach on the town, Shirley biscuits always feel like home.
Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be, is the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley, the Caribbean's favorite biscuit.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. It's a beautiful Monday here in St. Kitts and Nevis, as we say, Sugar City, St. Kitts and Queen City, Nevis. You're listening to Voices. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning and thank you so much for joining us here again on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. Today is Monday, the 7th day of March 2022, and I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Of course, earlier I put out the numbers that you can call us at, which are 466-0989 and 7620989, which are the local numbers. And of course, if you are in the diaspora, you can call us at, if you're in the UK, you can call us at 033-344-0065. That is 033-344-0065. If you are in the United States, you can call us at 718-285-6984. And if you are in Canada, call us at 305-921-4619. That's 305-921-4619. Thank you so much for joining us here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. A pleasant morning is wished to, well, especially to our hard-working nurses and, of course, those who are on the front line. Thank you for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. You continue to work tirelessly. You continue to go above and beyond. And, of course, those frontline workers who are females, who are women, tomorrow is your day where the global community of the world, that is, join in the celebration of International Women's Day. And so to all the independent, strong, hardworking, resilient women out there, on behalf of all of us here at WINNFM, happy International Women's Day, and continue to be the change agents, continue to work hard, continue to fight for what is right, continue to do what you're doing, continue to be independent, strong, and we thank you for your contribution to society. Thank you so much for joining us here on Voices. It is about 10 minutes past the hour of 11, and the phone lines are open. We're taking a look at what has been happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis, across the Federation, across the region. Of course, this is what Voices is for. It is a forum for you to express your views on very pertinent issues that affect the everyday man here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It is an opportunity for you to speak on issues that impact people on almost every level. Now, I want to throw out a topic and I want to have a discourse or discussion with you, the listeners here of WINNFM 98.9, and this is related to the entertainment in specifically the resumption of the major events. We've had this conversation before, but we're nearing the music festival, which is coming up in June of this year, and from all indicators, they have already chosen the artists. The dates are set. Logistics have been basically confirmed, and so it is now just a matter for them to announce who their artists are. And of course, this is something that people are waiting for. This is something that people have been looking forward to for the past 2 years. And so I, for one, am looking forward to this. This is good news, especially for people who work in the entertainment industry, people who make a living in this area. And of course, for all of us who have that fatigue of, being under lockdown and all of the COVID-19 restrictions and measures, to hear that we now can have these large entertainment events is really, really good. But I want to entertain with you, the listeners, your thoughts on this. I just wanted to note for those of you, so I want to entertain a discussion here with you on that. And what are your thoughts on the resumption of major entertainment events? We'll take a break to acknowledge the sponsors for this program, and when we come back, we will continue Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be right back. Stick and stay.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Buying your medication is easy with City Drugstore's curbside pickup. WhatsApp our certified pharmacist at 662-8769 with your requests. For prescriptions, take a clear photograph and send for review. We will engage you in dialogue and then provide a quotation and link for payment. You can then pay via TDC's online payment portal. And once the transaction is complete, you'll be notified that your pickup is ready. Yes, it's that easy. Send your WhatsApp message to 662-8769 to order your medications today with City Drugstore's curbside pickup service.
Decided what to eat yet, hon?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
and getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. Thank you so much for joining us. Right here, it is 50 minutes past the hour of 11, and this is Voices for today, Monday, March 7, 2022. And I'm your host, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining. Just letting you know that we lost power in the Bastia area, so we're not on the air for some of the areas in Bastia. Let me apologize for that. We lost power at our transmitters, but you can listen to us on WINNMedia SKN Facebook and our YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram. Of course, we have some people already logged in there. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we are going to take your questions, your comments, your participation via that forum. You can also send us a WhatsApp at 662-2204. So if you know of a usual listener who is in the Bastia area, send them a WhatsApp, tell them to log on to www.winmediaskn.com to hear what's happening here today. Welcome back. So the resumption of major entertainment events here in St. Kitts and Nevis, of course, that includes Music Festival, which is coming up in June. And as I've said, this is something that people are definitely looking forward to. This is something that people have been waiting for the past 2 years. Now that we have been made aware of this and that these events are going to happen, they're going to resume. Of course, the questions will come how, in terms of logistics, in terms of who would be able to attend these events. I think those are some of the very pertinent questions that will be asked. And of course, the relevant event organizers or whoever, they will be able to answer that question. But as it is now, we know that Music Festival is on and they are looking to have this resume in late June, the usual time when Music Festival is held. This is something, as I said, we are looking forward to it, and many people are waiting for that to happen. Of course, over in Nevis, we have Culturama 48, that is. And, of course, the Nevis Culturama Committee and generally the island of Nevis, they too are preparing for what promises to be what they say the greatest summertime. And so, yes, people are happy. People are getting comfortable with the news of the resumption of these major entertainment events. I mean, truth be told, we can't be locked up forever. We can't isolate and quarantine forever. We have to find a way to get back to what we were doing before. Of course, within the safest possible way. Because at the same time, you have to be careful, make sure that everything is safe. But this is something that we've been looking forward to. And people are, as I've said, comfortable with the news. And this is something that they want to happen, and they want it to happen now. Of course, we have sports, particularly or specifically on the island of Nevis with the primary schools. Sports have resumed. And so the sports season, I would say, is in its full swing. And when I say sports, I'm referring specifically to track and field. Of course, you have other sports such as football, cricket, etc. But looking at the sports track and field there in the island of Nevis, a number of the primary schools have planned and some have executed their sports day. Also, I think what is big news for Nevis, and I would say the Federation by extension, is the announcement that we will have the Inter-Primary Championship, which is known to people on Nevis as the Mini Olympics, and I dare say in the Federation or across the region. This is a big event that happens in Nevis around late March, early April, where the primary schools on the island of Nevis, they come together and they compete for the title of Mini Olympics, or the championship, that is. And so it's going to be a very busy couple months going forward between March and June, where we have the entertainment events, other people having events, event organizers. This is definitely good news for them. It is an opportunity for them to make some money, and not just to make money, but as I said, there are people who have, this pent-up energy, being in quarantine or in lockdown for some time. It could be really, really frustrating. And as we have been hearing from the health officials, we have to get out of the panic mode, and we have to, get into the normal of, hey, it is time for these events to resume, and we should not, tie down ourselves and lock ourselves away forever and ever. But this is definitely good news, and it is something that we are looking forward to. Send your comments and questions. You can send those at our Facebook Live on WINNMedia SKN. We're also live on YouTube at WINNMedia SKN, and you can also check out our Twitter and Instagram accounts. Of course, we have the WhatsApp number, which is 662-2204. 662-2204. I want to hear from you, your take on the resumption of these events, the entertainment events such as Music Festival and other events that have happened and that are happening. And of course, sports. Definitely people have been waiting for sports. The students, they haven't been participating in sports for about 2 years now, and so this is something that they want to happen, and of course this is going to benefit a number of people, a number of areas or sectors within the economy. And of course, as a tourism dependent nation, we have been hard hit by COVID, and these are some of the areas that people can make a living, people can continue to live their life, continue their livelihood of living, because living is not just being alive, but being able to have certain things work for you and function for you. But good news. My take on the resumption of the entertainment events. There is so much to it that one may want to look at it from the angle of, well, it's just an entertainment event and it's just a time for people to party and all of that. But you're looking at it too from the position of the economic benefits that would come out of the resumption of these events. You have people right here, radio stations, who would benefit from these events happening. And of course, these businesses and companies, they employ people. And, we often say that the government can't employ everybody. We often say that the handouts such as social assistance, is not necessarily the best way of fixing the unemployment issue and the other issues that we have in society. And so the resumption of these events, I think, play a very important role in our economic recovery and generally across the board our recovery in terms of people getting back out to work and doing what they ought to do. Of course, as I said, there are a number of businesses that benefit from these things happening, and people are ready. So I foresee that these events will be supported overwhelmingly, because again, this is what the people want, and definitely you have to give them what they want. This is what they want. You have to give them what they want. We're seeing the same thing with the sporting events, not just the track and field, but you look at the football and the other sporting events that have been happening. People generally want to get outside. We're people, we're humans, and we want to be social. You can't be a human and not want to be social. And so for these events to happen, definitely what we are looking forward to. Of course, part of this conversation is the conversation of the vaccine and people getting vaccinated. We're seeing where some restrictions, or not some restrictions, but the restrictions, they played a very a large role in these events not happening, because in terms of what the entertainers wanted to do and in terms of what the people in sports wanted to do, it was not in the eyes of the health officials, not in line with the protocols or sorry about that. So, it was not necessarily in line with what the protocols was outlining, were outlining, that is. And so, no, I think for the most part, people are pleased, people are happy that these things can happen again. And as I've said, it is not just for these things to happen for us to go and have a lime and party and that is, but looking at the benefits that we can have from it. I can't go into the specific data or to break it down in terms of how these things will benefit us, but it's just to have the conversation. Of course, we would like to dive into how the resumption of these events would benefit the local economy, how the resumption of these events would benefit the local economy. We would see the small impacts in terms of people. You have entertainers who, like DJs, who they're strictly DJs and they do nothing else other than being a DJ. Of course, with these events happening, it is good news for them. And so people generally are welcoming this, and we're happy that these things can happen. We want to hear from you, your take on this. Is this something that you think people are going to welcome, or perhaps it's a rhetorical question, because I would say most people are welcoming the resumption of the entertainment events and the resumption of the sporting events, which I would say they go hand in hand, because at the sporting events there will be some sort of entertainment. You can't really have a sporting event and not have entertainment. And so definitely people want these things to happen, and we're definitely looking forward to it. We're definitely looking forward to these things happening. It is 27 minutes past the hour of 11 here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9. For those of you who are just tuning in, and for those of you who can hear us, we're having some difficulties. We lost power at our transmitters in the Bastia area, and so we are actively working on having that issue rectified. Of course, Skellig is doing what they can do, but we're not on the air for some parts of Bastia. And so for those of you who logged in online, apologies for not being able to hear us on our FM channel. But again, if you know somebody who is in the Bastia area and they are a usual listener, or you would like them to log on to Voices for Today, please, you can send them a WhatsApp, and you can tell them to log on here on Facebook at WINNmedia SKN, or any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that is, or they can log on to our website at www.winmediaskn.com. That's www.winmediaskn.com. We'll take a break to give a shout out to the sponsors. When we come back, we'll continue Voices here, right here on WINNFM 98.9. Thank you so much for joining.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Buster, pour it up, meet the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster, put the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Buster, you're full of vibes, living for the color. I know black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up, load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster, put the colors in my life.
Decided what to eat yet, hon?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
and getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Welcome back to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. It's Monday, March 7, 2022. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of Voices. It's about 33 minutes past the hour of 11 here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9. Thank you so much for joining us. The numbers, the phone lines are open. You can call us at 4660989 and 7620989. We want to hear from you. Your participation in this program is greatly appreciated. You have our first call for this morning. Let's head to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Very blessed morning to you, Devon, and to all your listeners everywhere. I would like to make an input with respect to motorcyclists here on St. Kitts. Yesterday, somewhere in the West Farm area, another motorcyclist crashed into a van. And we as bus drivers, we had to take a detour on the seaside. That is the seaside of the road. So we had to go down into the village and then come back up because the road was blocked off because of the accident. And looking at the accident, one could have seen that it was a very serious accident because the motorcycle was badly damaged and inconveniences were caused to us as motorists. So I would like to ask this question. I would like to find out why are bus drivers, private vehicle owners ticketed for speeding, and yet I have never ever seen any police officer ticketing a motorcyclist. And motorcyclists exceed the speed limit here on St. Kitts more than any other vehicle user. Any other road user who exceeds the speed limit more than a motorcyclist, I would like someone to tell me. Motorcyclists exceed the speed limits everywhere, anywhere, around corners, and I have never ever seen any motorcyclist ticketed by the police. So I would like the police, the hierarchy of the police, to tell us why these motorcyclists are not ticketed. It is unfair for us as bus drivers to be ticketed for any and every little thing. To me, the police officers target bus drivers, they look for us, and ensure that they ticket us for just about any little silliness. Something as simple as blowing your horn in the terminal. Something as simple as moving your bus from the holding area to the line without the seatbelt fastened. You at the terminal there. Alison Rouse will issue a ticket to me for that. But look at what the motorcyclists do. Look at the amount of them who die on the road almost every week, every month. Motorcyclists are dying left, right, and center because of speeding and they're not wearing helmets. So I would like the police to tell us why these motorcyclists are not ticketed. And they also need to let us know why they're not enforcing the law, because I think there is a law on the statute books of St. Kitts which states that motorcyclists are supposed to be wearing helmets. The motorcyclist yesterday was not wearing a helmet from all reports. So I would like them to answer those questions for me. I'll come back sometime later. God bless.
Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. We're still taking your calls here on WINNFM 98.9. And thank you so much for bringing that to the fore, which continues to be an issue here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and where people are speeding unnecessarily, uncalled for. And of course, you know the result of speeding, and of course where that can go. It can definitely get out of hand, and we continue to plea, we continue to beg that motorcyclists and generally drivers, bus drivers too, take your time on the road. There's no need to be speeding unnecessarily. Of course, if it is not an emergency, but ordinarily people just think that they should be speeding. But caller, thank you so much for that contribution, and we're still taking your calls here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. It's 11:38 and the phone lines are open. Call us at 4660989 and 7620989. Just before the caller came in, I was saying that, with respect to the entertainment events and the resumption of these events, we are also seeing where the health officials are saying that, there's no need for us to operate in emergency mode anymore as it relates to COVID-19. There are some people that are still in emergency mode and still, tied up with all that's happening with COVID. We have a call on the line, so let's head to the phone lines and take this call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. What about you?
Oh, so far, so good. As far as I can, so nobody should really be speeding and exceed the speed limit. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a motorcyclist, a bus driver, motorist. But the thing is that puzzles me is that the ticketing system have been used as a money collection system. I want to give you a short scenario. A lady picks up her child, places the child in the back of the car, put the seatbelt on the child, and proceed to drive the car. Having done so, while driving, the child in the back of the car decides to move to the other side of the car. In the process of doing that, while the car is moving and the parents is concentrated, the mother is concentrated and driving, here comes a police officer, stop the car. The child is not wearing a seatbelt, and a ticket was issued for that cause. It is of my view that policing, the whole idea of policing is to deter, to prevent, and the idea behind it is to protect and to serve the general public. And when I look at the situation, something like this, here we have just been through a pandemic, which is really, really hard for lots of people. Your income is $300 per week, which is our minimum wage. You have a car, and you go pick up your child, and a police officer stops you in downtown Bastille, failing to put on your ticket, your seatbelt, and issue your ticket for $150. How much money do you have to take home after you have to pay a ticket for $150 out of $300? You end up with $150.
Right.
People have to think. People have to think about the stress and the pressure that people are going through. Seeing a police officer in uniform, the first thing come to the person's mind is to check to make sure that the seatbelts are intact. And that's what most and everybody do, because nobody wants a ticket for a seatbelt. And the police officer, in the process of the person pulling the seatbelt, pull aside, and bam, a ticket handed to you. What damage can someone receive, excess damage, for not wearing a seatbelt in the city of Bastille, driving below 20 miles an hour, for not having on a seatbelt, and in a readiness to comply, to put on the seatbelt, and somebody, an officer, just waiting to slam a ticket on you for $150? It is legally wrong, but it is legally right, but it's morally wrong. We cannot live that way. That's not what policing is all about. Policing is to protect and to serve the public. The public is paying you. And so out of abundance of caution, can't somebody do something? Because people are crying out. Things are not cheap. Things are not easy. Fuel is increasing. And so you don't put you put people down especially to take money out of people's pocket, or to prevent them from violating the law. Yes, there's a law. I agree that there's a law, and the law must be obeyed. But sometimes somebody forget, and if when they react, show you that they really, really intentionally, really did not have no intention of breaking the law. I could see that if you're on the FT William, and you're not wearing your seatbelt, and police flag you down, and give you a ticket. I agree with that 100%. But downtown Bastille, just make the person put on the seatbelt and let them go. And you park on a yellow line for a few moments. You park on a yellow line for a few moments to run in a place for 5 minutes to return. Sometimes some places don't operate as fast as they should and efficient as they should.
Right.
And when you get back to your vehicle, some police officer is snapping a ticket on your windscreen. Those things cannot be right. In all pure and just conscience, how can you give someone $150 ticket to take home who make $300 per week? And somebody going to say, well, follow the law. You should really do what you're supposed to do. Well, I don't get any ticket because I make sure it stay in line. But what about those other people who are not that mentally balanced, who trying to see how well they could meet life? And they're trying to, when they see the police officer, you see they have remorse because they don't want a ticket. And so therefore, since it lies in place, police officer had not just only to wear a hat. They could think. Don't try to give people the shaft all the time or wheel in the big stick, because the day will always come when you need the public, because those are the public you serve. Right. You have to think. Think you have a household, you have family. Think about the hardship that they're going through when you take $150 out of their pocket for a ticket, for not wearing a seatbelt in town, for parking a few more minutes in a certain place at 4th Street. Come on, man. We got to do better than this. We are better than this. We're turning each other against each other, and it should not be. By taking, once you could hit a man in his pocket, that is where you could hit him really hard, because everybody feel in the pocket. Government workers have not, we went through a pandemic, but government workers have not feel it as much as those who don't work for government, because the salary was paid every month and on time. On time. And not one of them could question the government about that. And so when you want to say, I'm doing my job, and then they're going to get a tongue lashing, pull over there, shut up, don't question my authority. And you talk to big people as if they're children. I think that we need to develop and increase and have some teaching on our communication skills and the way we speak to each other. We should not talk at each other. We should not speak down to each other. We should try to speak to each other, whereas our position will be better when we finish talking to each other. I think I have said enough. Have a good day, sir.
And thank you, caller, so much for your contribution to this program. We're still taking your calls here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open. Call us today and be a part of the discussion. We started earlier with the issue of, well, not the issue, but the resumption of major entertainment events. But the callers, they want to speak on the, which is absolutely fine. They want to speak on the issue of motorists using the road and the issue of tickets for drivers. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. So the caller was basically sharing that, well, what I get from what the caller said is basically that the police officers should exercise some discretion, when given tickets. There's a caller on the line. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. Just to piggyback on the last caller, I was trying to call this morning. I was going to call on the program this morning, but I don't think the folks there would have answered me how I wanted to, because for me, right, in terms of issuing tickets on the road, especially for what they call speeding. Now, there's an area there in Canada, between Canada and Canada, right? And the speed limit goes from 40 to 20, just around the bend. And then just after that, 100 meters later, there's a cop around the corner trying to issue a ticket. Now, I think that is unfair. And I just think that they're being willful and deceitful, because you have to give people enough time to go from 40 to 20 miles an hour. And it ain't no way that you could drop from 40 miles per hour straight down to 20 in less than a minute. If you do that, you probably might cause an accident, right? And I don't understand why from 40 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour, just 100 yards later, around the bend, there's a cop there waiting to issue a ticket. I think it's unfair, and it's not only in that area. There's also the area you're coming off the highway, right, going towards the Buckley's area, the Rams area. And the same thing, you're coming off a highway, and from 40 to 20 miles an hour, going around the corner, and then a cop there again trying to give you a ticket. That is wrong, and I think it's unfair. And it's unfair to people. It is, and I just think it's willful, and the officers need to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, caller, so much for your contribution. Let's head back to the phone lines and take this call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hello, caller, good morning. You're on the air. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Please call us back at 466-0989 or 7620-989. We're still taking your calls here on WINNFM 98.9. It is 11:48, and we'll take a break at 12 for the headline news. And, of course, when we come back, we will continue Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. Now, what I get from the callers basically is, I think it's the conversation of the police exercising discretion. I know, and I can relate to, because I've seen it happen to a number of drivers where they would stop at a yellow line, of course not with the intention to park. Let me hold that thought. We have a caller on the line. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good. Okay, we lost that caller. So not with the intention of staying there for an hour or two, but a minute. They perhaps came into town to pick up one item. Okay, the caller's back. Let me take this call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. What about you?
I'm doing good, and Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas in advance. Trust me, it's coming. It's just around the corner.
This is already in March, you know?
Yes. Just flying, it's flying, it's flying. Well, what I can say, but well. You're second to last caller.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to him. Hey, he is who prompted me to really call in, you know. He's who prompted me to really call in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I agree with what he said and, you know, what the role of the police should be, especially around this time. Listen, a lot of things need to be done that are not being done. A lot of things that need to be done are not done. Because you hear them talk about what is going on and so on, and they talk about, price increases and so on overseas, and that's why. Listen, a lot of the stuff that you see here in this country, where business places, whatever they are, they that are in the, providing goods and services, especially goods, the prices don't have to increase, because I'm telling you, some of those stuff, food stuff especially, that you see the prices go up on, right? I'm not saying all, but some of them, they already have them in stock. They already have them in stock. And especially in 2020 when they had the first lockdown, you see how prices went haywire. And when people cried out, they talk about, the prices are increased on the outside, right? But nobody hadn't brought in no containers during that time. And even if containers were at the port for them, whatever price increase happened out, they did not affect those goods that they had in storage. So they're just increasing the price on their old stock. And they use the excuse prices increase on overseas. You see? A lot of the stuff, they do that. Another thing I want to tell persons, when you go into some of these supermarkets and you see them talk about they have sales price on an item, please, I beg of you, look at the price, the unit price on your receipt when you get it. Another thing, make sure that the sales price is in the system. I went into a supermarket just over the weekend, and they had a fruit. That supermarket had a fruit on sale, $7.95 per pound. The regular price was $8.95. Well, when I went to the cash out point, the sales price is in the system. But the regular price was on the item. So it had the $8.95 on the item. So I saw when the cashier just passed the stuff over the scanning machine and he picked up the price that it had on the item. And I told her, no. I said, this item is on sale. It says $7.95, right? So she said, yes, the $7.95 is there in the system. I said, no, it's not only just in the system. If this item is on sale, you have to now take this item, wait, and then you will have the new price at the sales price. Okay, she said, well, okay, I understand. So she called one of those persons who came in from India and started to explain. Now he is telling me, oh, what is on the stuff, what the price is on the thing and so on, that is what I am supposed to get it at. I said, no. I said, the price that is on the item, that price is as a result of the weighing at $8.95 per pound, right? The price that was on the item, okay? The unit price is $8.95, and when you weigh that $8.95, you get that price on the item. So if it's on sale, you have to wait at the cash out point, and then you will get the new price, which should be lower than what is on the item at the sales price. And when he realized he was cornered, but he's still not admitting. And you see, this is how they keep on cheating customers, and especially around this time. So persons have to be very, very vigilant, right? I went to another supermarket some weeks ago, and I only just picked up a few stuff. I don't know what I had. Basic, right? And when you look, this stuff is over $100. So, I mean, I said something, and I mean, you know, they started laughing and whatsoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I turned to the girl who was bagging, and I turned to her and I said, darling, I believe you might be getting minimum pay. I said, how you all manage? How you all manage with this? Look at this. 100 and something out of minimum pay at the end. Just a few stuff. You understand? You know what the lady turned to me and she said, my dear, I don't manage anymore. And when she says she don't manage anymore, I don't think she means that she does not manage her money in the sense of managing and let it stretch. What I believe she meant at the time is that she can't be bothered because it doesn't matter what she do, whatever. You understand? It is what it is. I said, my God, I guess to keep her own sanity, she tells herself, you know, she just can't, you know what I mean? She just... But it is really terrible. It is terrible. It is terrible. It is terrible. And back to what this second to last caller mentioned, I think, I really don't know, but I don't think the police and so on, those at the port, I don't believe that they're just operating on their own like that. I believe they were prepped before, and maybe they were told, listen, we need this amount of intake, because I believe they have a target at the port too. And I believe that is why you see they deal with people so harshly, because they have a certain amount of money that I believe, I could be wrong, because I cannot explain it any other how. I just cannot. You can't tell me that those people who come out of poor backgrounds don't know any better and know how people are living in this country. You understand? For them to hit them so hard. So I believe they have a target amount of money that they are told that they have to meet, whether at the end of every accounting year, at the end of the year, or whatever. I do believe so. And I do believe also it is possible that they may be told that they might get a commission, something extra, depending on how much they bring in. I could be wrong, but like again, I said, I cannot explain why this sort of thing is going on, because these people are poor people. They know how it is and how some people live in, for how they're beating people with these prices. Because if somebody from overseas sending something, that's something coming because the person here cannot really manage. You're going to bill them so hard to get out some some food to get out some piece of curtain that people can't even buy for themselves, and they just lash them hard. So I believe they've been told. I don't think that they're operating on their own. And there's some who are going to abide by whatever they say, and they're going to do the bidding because it's all about money. And I say a lot of our people, they have become so greedy and they're easily corrupted. It is sad. But anyway, that's it for today, and have a blessed day.
You too, and thank you so much for your participation in today's program. We are basically out of time, and so we'll take this break now for the headline news, and when we come back, we'll continue. Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
TDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services. We are strong. TDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be. It's the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley got it all about the flavor. Shirley never let me down. When I lime it at the beach on the town, Shirley biscuits always feel like home.
Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be. It's the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley, the Caribbean's favorite biscuit.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and National Bank.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that National Bank offers very favorable terms and low interest rate to switch your home mortgage? Our in-house legal department will process your mortgage in a jiffy and free of cost. Switch your home mortgage now and get a peace of mind knowing that we are here for you. National Bank, always here.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Daily low with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
With the Win Headline News, I am Devon Cornelius.
And I am Yolanda Weeks.
Making the headlines, focus on services sector, regional ministers to meet next month.
The Honorable Eric Evelyn encouraged citizens to become better environmental stewards.
In news from Jamaica, schools on shift system get more time to prepare for face-to-face learning. Internationally, stocks plunge on fears over Russia oil ban. And can Ukraine artistic treasures be saved from war? The details and more straight ahead.
Acutely aware of the need to pay serious attention to the way in which people dispose of waste, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, through the Ministry of Environment, is encouraging its citizens to become better environmental stewards. Federal Minister of Environment and Cooperatives, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, made the remarks on Friday, March 4 at a ceremony held at the Solid Waste Management Conference Room in Taylor's Range to officially launch the U.S. $1 million St. Kitts and Nevis Solid Waste Management and Recycling Project. Quote, the implementation of this project is a step toward building a coordinated framework to address waste disposal practices, and I may dare say quite timely, said Minister Evelyn at the ceremony. The project is funded by the Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund, ICDF, and present at the meeting was the resident ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, His Excellency Michael Lin, who also gave brief remarks. He was supported by the Second Secretary at the Embassy, Mr. Jack Lee. Quote, this project is timely for two main reasons, pointed out Minister Evelyn. Firstly, it aligns with my ministry's commitment to encourage our citizens to become better environmental stewards. We are acutely aware of the need to pay serious attention to the way in which we dispose of waste. The ever-niggling but critical issues associated with waste separation and excessive waste contribute to environmental degradation, end quote. The overall outcome of the project, he pointed out, is to seek to establish a recycling system to improve efficiency and increase the amount of waste recycled by twice the amount. He noted that setting the systemic framework will be a foundational pillar to create efficient and collaborative pathways among the stakeholders and ultimately result in more environmentally responsible actions from all the citizens, which he added would be the beginning of a mindset shift. The Honorable Minister advised that the Ministry of Environment and Cooperatives is leading the charge to implement a ban on single-use plastics as St. Kitts and Nevis endeavors to achieve United Nations Sustainable Goal 12, which is to ensure responsible consumption and production patterns. Quote, to achieve this goal, we must reflect on ways in which we can use our resources efficiently to reduce waste in a sustainable manner, observed Honorable Evelyn. It also points us to the possibilities of economic innovation for sustainability, end quote. These will include the possibilities of packaging products using environmentally friendly material, diverse offering of how to reuse plastics or any other product, adding, quote, the use of technology in reducing waste are all ways of reimagining how we can achieve resource efficiency, end quote. In attendance was project manager Ms. Joyce Chang, who gave an overview of the 3-year project, which comes to an end in July 2024, having started in July 2021. Stakeholders from both St. Kitts and Nevis were invited for the launch, and among those present included the Solid Waste Management, St. Kitts Ministry of Tourism, Transport and Post, Ministry of Education, Sustainable Development Planning Unit, Nevis Tourism Authority, represented by CEO Mr. Devon Liberd, Bureau of Standards, General Manager of Handy Plastics, Mr. Michael Edgecombe, and Department of Environment members of staff. Quote, I want to use this opportunity to say thanks to all the stakeholders who have agreed to join the fight of tackling waste matters and the recycling program in general, said Minister Evelyn. We recognize that the implementation of a recycling program will require some cultural changes in attitude and behavior. However, I am confident that with the diverse composition of the project steering committee, innovative ways will be presented to address this. End quote. The partnership with Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund, ICDF, pointed out the minister, does not only provide the financial assistance, but also technical assistance. He noted that the country was honored to have Ms. Joyce Chang, the project coordinator, working here, and promised that she will receive support and guidance from the project steering committee.
The William Marcus Natta Memorial Scholarship Fund is now accepting applications from 5th and 6th grade students at the Tucker Clark and Irishtown Primary Schools to assist with school-related expenses. The fund will select 2 students from each school who have demonstrated community involvement and financial need. The fund was established in memory of William Marcus Natta, former Army Sergeant and trade unionist who worked diligently within his community and promoted high academic achievement among his family and community. Students with good moral character, a strong academic record, and interest in the community are encouraged to apply by May 1st, 2022. The application may be obtained from the school's offices. In regional news, focus on services sector, regional ministers to meet next month. The CARICOM ministers with responsibility for the services sector meet on March 8th to approve regional strategic plans for 4 services subsectors. The ministers will also chart the region's course in the services sector for 2022. Ahead of the special meeting of the Powerful Council for Trade and Economic Development (COTED) dedicated to services, sector stakeholders met on 17th and 18th February to hold discussions on the issues that are to be placed before the ministers for decision. Various regional SWOT analysis, a COVID-19 services action plan, and a community master strategy and implementation plan are among the items on which the officials will deliberate. The services sector is the largest in the economy of the Caribbean community, accounting for almost 70% of the total regional output according to 2018 figures, with a value of about 164 billion EC dollars. Mr. Timothy Oddle, Deputy Program Manager for Services at the CARICOM Secretariat, said. About 77% of the region's workforce is involved in the services sector. Figures for 2018 indicate that translate to more than 1 million persons, the majority of whom are females. Mr. Oddle said the sector represented the value of human capital investment and is the value added created or consumed by humans. It accounts for a wide array of activities through the value chain, from weeding and trichology, aeronautical engineering, and neurosurgery. Statistics from 2018 indicate that the distributive sector, which includes hotels and restaurants, Wholesale and retail sales was the highest performing area. The second best performing sector was financial services, which includes real estate and technical business services, while the third included human health, healthcare, and education sector, Mr. Otto said.
We are using a definition for services based on a concept coming from way back in the days when we were coming from like emancipation. And our founding fathers recognized the value of human capital investment. So the most of the emerging independent economies that started the Federation invested heavily in education. They might not have known it, but what has evolved now is that all of our economies have some highly skilled community nationals, citizens in these economies. So we are using a concept that the value added created by the human constitutes the production and trade of services when compared with a machine. So the definition of services is the value added created or consumed by the human. And as a result of that, you have a wide gamut of economic activities. So everything that is created by the human, we classify as services. So in agriculture, you will find the human input when our entomologists go and advise the farmers with respect to pests. I think those are the services which are added to the agriculture sector and so forth. When you go into the manufacturing plant, the value added of the human as opposed to the machine. So the operator, the management consultant, the management team, the production team, all of those are the human component, and hence we call it the servicification of the manufacturing sector as well as the servicification of the agriculture sector. And then when you come to the tertiary sector, services pop up, where all throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year, you find persons just creating value from their intelligence. And that is why the services sector is the largest sector of the regional economy. And not only the regional economy, most of the developed world, that is the case, because all of us have invested heavily in education. So the human, the more you invest in his ability to produce, the higher the value added created by him. And hence, the greater the contribution of services to the economy.
Like practically all segments of economic activity globally, the CARICOM services sector, its tourism industry in particular, is adversely impacted by the continuing pandemic and the measures countries are taking to confront it. But it is showing the capacity for resilience in the face of external shocks. While the tourism industry, on which many of the member states depend for economic survival, is hard hit by the pandemic, digital services grew as technology became vital, especially for remote work, schooling, and shopping. In news from Jamaica, schools on shift system get more time to prepare for face-to-face learning. Schools in Jamaica with established shift systems have an additional 2 weeks to streamline their operations to facilitate the full resumption of face-to-face classes. This was disclosed by Acting Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education and Youth, Dr. Kassan Troop. She said the timeline will enable the schools to work through their challenges and communicate with the parents so they can know fully when they will be going back to their normal operations. She was speaking during the ministry's virtual town hall meeting on the full resumption of face-to-face classes on Friday. Dr. Troop explained that schools on the shift system will have to facilitate a number of changes given their situation, noting that they are beyond their capacities and there is a classroom shortage issue. Quote, so they need a little bit more time to get work through and that we're seeking parents to just be patient with them, end quote, she implored. Dr. Troop emphasized that the ministry really wants to have all of their students back in the whole day school environment, especially in light of the learning losses that they have suffered over the period of the pandemic.
The conflict in Ukraine has global markets facing ever deeper turmoil. Right now, investors' big concern is that Western countries will move to ban imports of Russian oil. That sparked a morning of frantic trade in Europe. Benchmark oil prices surged, at one point up by almost a fifth. By mid-morning, Brent crude was still up around 7% at about $126 per barrel. Traders, meanwhile, dumped shares. Japan's Nikkei index sank 3%, hitting 15-month lows, with the rest of Asia also hit. Indexes in France, Germany and Italy then dropped over 3% in early trades. Economists fear the impact of oil sanctions on countries that are heavily dependent on Russian energy. European assets generally felt the pressure, with the euro also tumbling. It hit parity with the safe haven Swiss franc. Other safety plays also benefited, with gold up around 1.5%. The turmoil all raises the spectre of stagflation, zero growth combined with roaring inflation. That means rising prices for consumers and a conundrum for central banks. They have to figure out how to cool inflation without adding to pain for rattled economies.
Well, the fight for Ukraine's future obviously continues, but its past is also under threat. The country is rich with historic buildings, museums and art collections, which could be targeted by the Russians. Now the race is on to protect them, as our culture editor Katie Razzle has been finding out.
Odessa's Fine Art Museum holds 10,000 works of art. 4 days before war started, people queued to see their city's treasures here, perhaps for the last time. Its acting director has now fled the country to protect her young son.
Odessa Fine Arts Museum has been like a child for me for many years. So it was basically a decision about which child did you want to let down or abandon.
At the end of last year, Alexandra showed the Ukrainian president around the museum. He's now battling to save his country from the Russians, and she and her team are fighting to save the collection.
I did everything possible to be done to keep collections safe. Of course, everybody were thinking about ways to protect collections, but at the same time, it was impossible to believe that it would happen.
Across Ukraine, efforts are being made to protect not just the people, but their culture. A strike on Kiev's St. Sophia Church or Lviv's stunning architectural centre would be a disaster, and there's much more. The country is home to 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
We are facing basically not just attack on Ukraine, we also feel it as facing an attack on our culture.
Olesia heads one of Europe's largest art museums, 500 kilometres north of Odessa in Kiev. She's staying put, despite the dangers, with a mission to protect.
Is it your intention that you will be staying in Kiev?
As long as we can guard our institution. When it's not possible any longer, then situation changes.
They know what could happen. The Russians are reported to have already destroyed artworks by the celebrated Ukrainian folk artist Maria Primachenko when they burned a museum in Ivankiv, north of Kiev. Picasso once called her an artistic miracle.
I'm terrified, I'm frightened. I believe that for them it would make sense to destroy some of art that shows Ukrainian heritage and showing that we're a different nation, that we have different history, and we're different, we're not Russia. It will cease to exist.
UNESCO has demanded Russia protect Ukraine's cultural heritage. But this is war, and this nation is not just fighting for its future, but its past too. Katie Razzle, BBC News.
You are listening to the WINNFM headline news. Let's recap our top stories. Focus on services sector, regional ministers to meet next month. In news from Jamaica, schools on shift system get more time to prepare for face-to-face learning. Internationally, stocks plunge on fears over Russia oil ban. And can Ukraine artistic treasures be saved from war?
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and National Bank.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Delia Walwyn, people you can trust.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Horswood's Building and Nevis Centers continues to make your lawn and gardening easy. Go to Horswood's Building and Nevis Center now and get 25% off store-wide on the entire lawn and garden equipment. Yes, for the months of February and March, Horswood's Building Center and Nevis Center is making improving your lawn and garden easy with 25% off garden supplies, garden equipment, garden accessories, including weed eaters, lawnmowers, and much more. Get 25% off all lawn and garden items happening now at Horswood's Building Center in St. Kitts and Nevis. Horswood's Building and Nevis Centers, making home improvement easy. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Welcome back to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. It is 12:30 here in the studios of WINNFM, and you're listening to Voices. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we are continuing the discussion here on Voices, WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 and 762-0989. Of course, for those of you who are just tuning in, the UK, if you're in the UK, you can call us at 033-344-0065. If you are in the USA, you can call us at 718-285-6984. And if you are in Canada, you can call us at 305-921-4619. Welcome back. So the conversation's shifted a bit to the issue of motorists using the road recklessly. Of course, many of you, or some of you perhaps, have seen already the footage surfacing over the weekend of a traffic accident. I'm not certain where this traffic accident was. Some reports were saying West Farm. I think that's what the report was saying, West Farm. But there was a traffic accident involving a motorcycle, and of course people continue to make the plea for motorcyclists and people generally who use the road, as well as pedestrians, to be careful. As a pedestrian, you really have to be careful, because even though you're stepping out into the road on a pedestrian crossing, you still have to be mindful of your surroundings. So this traffic accident reportedly took place in West Farm, and it involves a bus and the post as a bike man. And of course, from the footage that we're seeing here, it looks rather serious. And so that is where the conversation of motorcyclists taking their time on the road, and generally people who use the road, the drivers, bus drivers as well, to be careful when they are using the road. There's a caller who commented on the ticketing part of it, where they feel that bus drivers are being overly ticketed, and for minor reasons or minor issues. As I was saying before, just before we went for the headline news, I've seen people get ticket for what I think is totally unnecessary, where people, you would stop at the yellow line. No, don't get me wrong. The law is the law, and you must obey the law. That is what is there, right? But I think at times your discretion can be used, and you can be a bit understanding, because, we're human and you don't know the situation. You don't know the situation. And so I've seen where people pull up. Their intention is to stop for just perhaps a minute or even less, to run in to get something, because the time that they would take to park, that would be a half an hour. And then where they have to park to get where they actually want to go is another half an hour. And so what I've seen people do is they stop quickly. And sometimes in those cases, they don't even uphold the traffic. It's just a quick stop, they get something, they come back out. And the traffic warden or the police officer, they are not able to use their discretion and say, okay, but don't make it a habit. Now, at the same time, we still have to respect that these people are just doing their jobs. And if they were not doing their jobs, we would be the first to complain too. So just on the fair side, they're doing their jobs, but in the midst of all of that, while doing your job, exercise discretion, or as we would say, man, have a heart. You look at the situation and you say, okay, I understand. But at the same time, the question would come, should I allow you to do this every time? Should I allow you this one time and then deny you all the other times? I mean, what should happen in a situation like this? But the plea for bus drivers to take their time on the road continues. Not bus drivers, sorry, but across the board, people who use the road, motorists, private and public, to take their time when they're on the road. And of course, for pedestrians to be mindful of their surroundings when they are using the road. Please be mindful of your surroundings when you are using the road. We want to continue this conversation with you, the listeners of WINNMedia 98.9. This is Voices, Monday, March 7, 2022. And the phone lines are open. Call us at 4660989 or 7620989. We're also live on Facebook at WINNMedia SKN. You can also catch us on our YouTube channel and Twitter and Instagram. Of course, via our website as well at www.winmediaskn.com. And of course, you can send your questions or participate via our WhatsApp number, which we would only be receiving messages via the WhatsApp at 662-2204. That is 662-2204. So it's a very interesting conversation that continues to be in the minds of many people. And of course, it would come when these accidents happen, because perhaps in people's discretion, in people's opinion, it could be prevented. It definitely could be prevented. But some people perhaps, see the need to speed unnecessarily and have no regard, have no respect for pedestrians or other people who use the road. So the plea continues to be made for people to take their time when using the road. But the conversation of tickets and people receiving tickets, that's a tricky conversation, because in your take or in your opinion, you perhaps would be saying, man, that traffic warden or that police officer should use their discretion. But perhaps they did, and they tell themselves, well, hey, this person should still receive a ticket. Perhaps it is a case of where the person has a habit of, committing this this what do you call it? I don't want to say crime, but keep doing it over and over and over again. And so now you've put that law enforcement officer in a position to not be lenient with you, because I can say that perhaps they have had instances like these where you have been lenient with the person. You're saying, hey, please comply with the law. This is the law, and they would appreciate if you comply with it. Some don't. Some make no effort to, and some genuinely do. So that too is a part of the entire conversation of people taking their time on the road and the traffic wardens, issuing these tickets. And of course, it can be a very frustrating experience for anybody to receive a ticket. Just this morning on my way to work, a vehicle was parked on the yellow line. Now, how that vehicle was parked, the officer used his discretion and tell himself that, well, this person has no intention whatsoever of moving this vehicle now. The vehicle was nicely parked, the glass was up, and it was parked in a position where you can't park there, because if somebody is to come around the corner, or perhaps a bigger truck, a garbage truck, or a bigger truck that is to come around the corner, it would definitely touch off your vehicle. It would cause an accident and then a whole confusion there. And so the officer said, well, in my discussion, this vehicle should not be here. Not necessarily because of where it is parked, but there is because of where it's parked too, but you're on a yellow line. And because you are on a yellow line, you're going to receive the ticket. But do I believe that at times they can be a bit understanding based on the circumstances? Yes, absolutely. But some perhaps don't see the need to be understanding and, perhaps to get a better or a clearer understanding of the situation and what really is happening. Because sometimes you have people who come, they perhaps want to go to the pharmacy or to grab something that is an emergency for them. But because of the officer who says, well, you should receive a ticket, or they want to hold you up for that, then you find yourself in a situation there. You find yourself in a serious situation there, one that you cannot get out of. So the issue of people using their discretion and saying, okay, man, I understand the situation as it is, and I'm gonna be flexible with you. That really happens, and it is frustrating for some people. We want to take your calls here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. So please call us at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Let's take your calls to be a part of today's discussion. It is 12:42. Of course, we end the program at 1:30. But again, thank you guys so much for your participation in the first hour. And we are keeping this conversation going. If you have no calls, we'll give a shout out to the sponsors for this program. And when we come back, we are going to continue the discussion right here on 98.9. This is Voices. Stick and stay. We will be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horsfield's Value Mart IGA Value Club Blue Tag specials from February 24th until March 9th. Essential Everyday Cranberry Juice Cocktails, $8.99. Lay's Stack Chips, $5.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Chunk and Shredded Cheeses, $7.99. Bird's Eye Steamed Fresh Vegetables, $5.99. Hot Pockets, $13.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Salad Dressings, $7.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals.
Gracias, Joanne. IGA or Essential Everyday Canned Fruit, $7.99. Multi-meal cereals, $12.99. Euros Pasta, $5.99. Stonewich Ice Cream, $18.99. Quaker Oatmeal Quick and Regular, $13.99. Gain Dish Liquid Soap, $6.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Joanne, in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
Welcome back to Voices here on WINN FM 98.9, and we're heading to the phone lines. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, sir, and greetings to you in Jesus' name, the only Savior of sinners, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, first of all, I'd like to say we are making issue of the, hardship of life and that sort of stuff, especially as it is in the Federation. We are making issues and crying out against how hard things are and that sort of stuff. But like I've been saying, and I've been saying over the years, unless we first turn to Jesus Christ in true godly repentance and start to obey his word, things will only be getting worse and worse and worse. It ain't because we lack the advice of the experts. We have more experts than anything else. It's like that in the issue, the experts, and as a matter of fact, the experts are leading us down the wrong road, because the road that they're leading us down is contrary to what the word of God says, and so therefore there is no light, no truth in the expertise. We need to first get right with Jesus Christ in true godly repentance, and after we get right with Jesus Christ, we need to follow what the Bible says in economics, in sociology, in the criminal system, in every issue and in every area of life.
Right.
Commerce,
So,
in the family, in the churches,
right.
we need to follow what the Word of God says.
So what is your take on the people using the road recklessly and police issuing tickets to those who do not wear seatbelts and for other issues related to road traffic and so?
Well, to be quite honest about it, socialism doesn't work. Socialism is one thing goes against the Word of God. I do not even believe in the first place, because it is contrary to the Word of God.
Believe what?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. I don't even believe in having a government standing police force. That a government standing police force and military as well goes against the scriptures. The people are who's supposed to be enforcing the laws. The people are who's supposed to be the police force. Every time anywhere you have a police force.
Well, we understand. Okay, we understand that is your take on that situation. But as it is right now, we have a situation where people are using the road recklessly. What is your take on that? What do you say to those who are using the road recklessly, and police who some say are not using their discretion when issuing tickets, etc.?
As far as where people are using the road recklessly, they have to be careful of people. They have to be careful of who they are driving, and they have to be careful of who is on the road, and they have to be careful that the least thing could make them get in a very serious accident and even make them lose their life or the life of others. So my thing with people who are using the road recklessly is to be very, very cautious. Very, very cautious.
All right.
Like I said, as far as where the police force is concerned, actually, is the Bible.
All right.
It goes against the Bible to have a government standing police force and military. And such are only threats to our God-given freedom and liberty.
All right. Thank you, caller, so much for your contribution to this program. We're taking some of the calls here on WINN FM 98.9. Please call us at 466-0989 and 762-0989. It is 12:48, and we're taking your calls here. The motorists, people generally who use the road, not using the road with any care or having any regard for anybody. We're heading back to the phone lines. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on Voices.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. This ticket and police thing, I think it happens all over the world. And, it's just that people do what they have to do and the police have to do what they do.
Right.
In cases, a police will use his conscience and discretion. But in a case where he doesn't, all the person has to do go and pay the ticket. It's simple as that. You can't have people looking out for the police for everything that they do, every ticket they write. I'm not going to use my discretion and allow this person to get away this time. But another time, he might not let him get away. You just go and pay the bill and, move on, man. It happens all over the world. It's not just St. Kitts and in town and Basti and so on. All over the world it happens. So, discussing this thing, I don't really agree with it. Police, I believe they have a heart and have a conscience, and they will issue a ticket when they feel like, and they will let go people when they feel like. Leave it at that. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for your contribution on this topic. We're continuing this conversation here on WINNFM 98.9. Call us at 466-0989 and 762-0989. With this topic, people are going to have their different views, and we have to be able to respect the view and opinion of others. But again, caller, thank you so much for your conversation, your contribution, on this topic. It is 12:50, and we're still taking your calls here at 466-0989 and 762-0989. Now, we understand, yes, that this is not a St. Kitts and Nevis issue, and that is quite obvious. So it is not an attempt to say, well, it only happens here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we're the only ones who are seeing an issue like this. I think the callers who called in earlier, they're speaking from their personal experience situation. We are not all going to experience the same thing. And if that's the case, then that's weird. But they're speaking from their personal experiences where they know of a situation where this happened, that happened. And that is something that we ought to expect. As I've said, I've never been given a ticket. But I've seen a situation where a person was given a ticket. And I think, while I understand the police, they have their job to do. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not here to say that you're having a conversation to stop the police from giving tickets and stop the traffic wardens from doing what they're supposed to be doing. Absolutely, that is not the aim here. It is just to have a conversation to hear, the different sides and to hear people's frustration on this issue. Because at the same time, as I've said earlier, we would be the same ones to say, well, the police, they're not doing their job and the police are not issuing the tickets. We would be quick to jump to that conclusion. We would be quick to say that. But when we talk about, the issuing of tickets and using their discretion, I think the caller who called in earlier was speaking specifically to a young woman with a child in the back seat, and, somebody, perhaps a scenario that, happened in real life. Sometimes you look at a situation and you say, okay, I understand, but, make this the last time. But against that, I want to say that, you can't allow people to just have a free-for-all. It can't be a free-for-all where you not wearing your seatbelt, you're speeding, and every time the police see you or sees you, you would say, man, give me a chance. It can't work. It can't work like that all the time. And if that is so, it is going to be a free-for-all, because everybody is going to be of the opinion that they could commit a traffic offense and they could, speed or not wear the seatbelt or whatever and get away with it, which that is not what we want to see happening, because we have and we continue to speak about our concerns as it relates to the number of traffic accidents that we have seen. And that is, of course, stemming from people driving recklessly. And I can tell you, as somebody who would walk on the road, all of us do, people use the road recklessly, both the drivers and pedestrians. They have no regard for what is happening around them. They're not mindful of what is happening around them. Let's head back to the phone line to take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, hello, it's me again. You see, we think that because we grow up meeting a thing going a certain way, that is how it's supposed to be and cannot be otherwise. And that is not necessarily true. Not because this is how we grow up seeing things mean that it is the best way or even the right way. For example, you talk about road spaces and you say we cannot have a free-for-all because we have to have traffic rules and seatbelt rules and that sort of stuff. Okay, go on YouTube and do research and shade spaces, shared spaces, where you have certain road, especially in Europe, where the only rule you have on the road, if you hit somebody or if you touch anybody, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But as far as where seat belts are concerned, as far as where speed limits are concerned, and these other traffic laws, there are none. And those are some of the safest roads in the world.
So you're saying that to what is your conclusion?
My conclusion is that we should not think that the way we grow up seeing and experiencing something mean that it is necessarily correct.
Yeah, but we don't have what you just referred to is not here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
No, it's not here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's not in a lot of other places. But where it is done, you have some of the safest roads in the world.
Right, but we're speaking. If we had something like that in St. Kitts and Nevis, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But we don't.
So maybe we need to change the paradigm, and that is what I keep on saying. We need to change the way we are doing to the Bible way of doing.
No. Change what paradigm? If we don't have a space for what you're referring to.
No, shared space. It's not referring to space. It's referring to roads hardly having any traffic laws other than if you hit anybody, you are wrong and you're going to be seriously dealt.
So you're suggesting
what shared spaces mean.
So what you're suggesting is that we discard most of the traffic laws, and that would help to fix the situation of the speeding and people driving without seatbelts. Or generally, it would help us get to some better level of road safety.
What I'm saying is that like I said earlier, not because the way we are doing things mean that it is the correct way of going. The best way to do things is the Bible way, where roads are privately owned, and which many roads in the world are.
So no, I understand that, but what I'm asking you now is that if we are to discard most of our laws and rules as it relates to road safety, are you saying that it is going to fix the issue of speeding and the other issues that we have?
I think, if we want to adopt the idea of shared spaces, our road will be safer, yes. Our road will be safer.
All
but
right.
the safest is to privatize them, which is the Bible way of going.
All
and
right.
let the private owners set the rules for their roads.
All right. Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. We're still taking your calls here on WINNFM 98.9. Please call us at 466-0989 and 762-0989. We're taking your calls here on WINNFM 98.9. Today's Monday, March 7th. Thank you, callers, so much for your contribution to this program. So that is the conversation that we're having right now, and we're heading back to the phone lines. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm here listening about the road. You know what happened? People don't use their own common sense about the road. I mean, if you park by a yellow line to go, hello, I'm on the air?
Yes, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, if you park by a yellow line to go someplace, you put on your flashers and they know that, well, it's, you'll be back. And some of them don't do wrong and still want to be right. You have to have some kind of rules and regulation. The other day in Cairn, I witnessed that when you're going towards a large way, it's on some vehicle park on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
So the right side is those who go into Basti, so they have the right of way. A vehicle stopped there, and before the other vehicle asks, can I pass? He passed straight to pass the vehicle. They said the vehicle was waiting on the oncoming traffic, and he is there, and he making a lot of noise, and and still wrong, and he want to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary driving on the road. It's scary, and all you got to do is, officer, I'm sorry, and move on.
Right.
You might give you a ticket as well as maybe you might say, okay, because I had the flashes and I went to pick up something, I didn't, whatever. You can't be wrong and strong. These young people, I don't know, they have too much Looney Tune people on the road as far as I'm concerned. So that's my thoughts.
All right. Thank you, caller, so much for your contribution to this program. You're still taking your calls here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. It is exactly 1 o'clock here in the studios. And the conversation has shifted to road safety and how people use the road. I agree with the caller to the extent that there's some people that they just don't know how to take their time on the road. So people not taking their time on the road, and people and some of the opinion that the traffic wardens or police officers are not using their discretion when issuing tickets. We want to hear from you. What is your take on this? The phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989, 762-0989. And let me give out the overseas numbers again, which are, if you are in the UK, call us at 033-344-0065. If you are in the USA, call us at 718-285-6984. And if you are in Canada, call us at 305-921-4619. The phone lines are open. We want to hear from you. But I share the sentiment that, yes, there are people who would use the road and they have no regard whatsoever. Especially when you're walking down there by KFC and you're crossing. So you're on the side by KFC and you're looking to go on the other side. Perhaps you're going to enter the Chinese, or you just want to go on the other side of the road. And you could stand there forever, and nobody is going to stop to acknowledge, or most people would not even stop to acknowledge that there are pedestrians waiting to cross the street. At the same time, you have pedestrians who are making their way across the pedestrian right there by the KFC. And the drivers, they're daring you. They're coming down and they're daring you to stop. They don't want to stop. They don't want to stop. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying that as a pedestrian that you should be ignorant. If you realize this vehicle is stopping, then you should, use your common sense and move out of their way. Because if they hit you, then that's a whole different story. You may not even survive the impact. But there's some drivers that they see you on the pedestrian, mind you. They see you on the pedestrian and they don't want to stop. They don't want to stop. It is 2 minutes past the hour. We'll take a break to give a shout out to our sponsors. When we come back, we'll continue Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. Let's take this break and we will be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsports Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Welcome back to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. We're heading back to the phone lines. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Hi, caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Host.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. I'm just calling in and I pray your indulgence.
Sure, go ahead.
Because, there's this war that's taking place, Kuwait and Mexico, Russia. Now, the CARICOM had condemned the invasion by Russia.
Sorry, not to cut you off. We don't want to shift the topic. Today we're focusing on road safety. Your take on motorists or people generally who use the road. Some callers have shared the concern that people are using the road recklessly when driving, and even pedestrians who are not mindful of their surroundings. Versus the conversation of they are of the view that pedestrians and traffic wardens issuing tickets without using their discretion. What is your take on that?
Well, I don't know. You have quite a lot of traffic talk that I did for one share a weekly show in regards to traffic. I think it is on your station.
Yes, we are well aware of that. We're well aware of the information that the police, the traffic department in particular, continue to share with the members of the general public.
But have been a serious crisis here that would really affect the world, including our CARICOM countries. And let me say here, I'm very disappointed that our Caribbean government are not preparing our people, our nationals for the impact of this war. They are not. You see, it appears to me just like they are.
Okay, so do you have something that you would like to contribute to the topic for today?
Which topic?
Okay, please call us at 466-0989 and 762-0989. The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls. 466-0989 and 762-0989. We're on the conversation of road safety, and just want to get from the listeners their take on people using the road recklessly. Of course, we've seen from the many videos and, of course, a number of reports of traffic accidents. You've seen it for yourself. We've seen it for ourselves just recently on social media there. People use the road recklessly, and we can attest to, sometimes you're trying to use the pedestrian crossing and you can't, and you step out in the pedestrian crossing with some fear. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cornelius.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Cornelius, I'm one of the persons who suffer with accident. My sister died gone. Her baby is still here, just months. It was a month old when she got hit at the Bay Road from the back. And the baby life saved. Her baby was just months old. And the vehicle hit her from the back. And the mercy of God saved that baby. That baby falling in the best hand. 10 Newton bed. No, it is now. So you don't know with all those big stones. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
So you don't know with all those big stones.
Mm-hmm.
The baby will die. The baby fall in the sand. My brother walking, going down that factory from the line gate there on Factory Road from the power station. A car hit him. Take off his leg. Nothing. He get nothing. All the driver do is get a warning. I mean, we don't care about life. We do. I believe when a guy is driving with that lot of speed, he ain't caring about life. He ain't caring nothing about life. Not even you all life he care about. Because a man could be in a car going with so much speed. If that car hit, he could blow up. He could die. He ain't caring about life. I believe the penalty is too soft for driving fast. I used to drive. I used to drive fast too. But I was just stupid with it. Stupid with it. Sinkers name is Sinkers, let me talk about Sinkers. Sinkers is too small for a guy to be doing 100. Sinkers is too small. A lot of people might vex with it. What I'm saying. Sinkers is too small for a man who wants to do over 100. I believe when a man catch you and the policeman catch you doing that kind, you should be charged for attempted murder. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. Different views, strong public opinions. Thank you so much for your contribution to this program. It is 11 minutes past, and we're still taking your calls here on Voices on Wind FM 98.9. Please call us at 466-0989, and we're heading back to the phone lines. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Devon Collier. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah. Devon, I myself, I'm a victim of getting in an accident, crashed there by Rash, 2019, coming to 2020. And up to now, my knee is still giving me a lot of problem because I get me mash up under the bus seat. But the bus driver wasn't wrong. The lady, a student come out in front of the bus. But Evan, let me tell you something, right? I believe some of these drivers, they know that the road overpopulated with vehicles. And they're still trying all kind of things, deliberately doing these things. I don't know if they care about the life or whatsoever. But something needs to be done. Or they start bringing in vehicles or something. Something needs to be done. A lot of young men and women just getting the license. Some of them, they have no confidence, no full confidence yet driving. And they want to drive the fastest on the road. They want to drive the fastest who got a license 20 years and 15 years. They want to drive, feel like they're better than them. And that's what we're causing so much a problem. The police and the traffic department out there doing the best. They come I think on Wednesday. They go on Win FM program with the traffic talk.
Yes.
They come and them, and they got the traffic talk telling them how to control themselves out there on the road. And it's still a lot of negative things coming from these drivers. Up to last night, yesterday afternoon, when I go in town to work, me and a Jamaican guy was talking about the traffic here in Sinkit. It's how big as Jamaica be. It ain't so much accident happening, especially with cycle in Jamaica. But the man, been on the show, when we reach a cycle on here, and he said, you know, cap soil, like if you run into a bus or something, run into it or something. I believe that something needs to be done, but the devil, with this load of accident we're getting every day. Every day is an accident, you know. We know that we with a small population, the road small. We got plenty vehicles. And I believe that people them should drive with precaution. Police can't be on the road, look how much police on the road. But people can just deliberately do what they want to do. And they can't stop them and kill them, get in an accident and get hospitalized or they even get a death. We not wish for that to happen. But this is how we're going to make some of them take warning. Okay, then, brother Devon, you have a wonderful day.
You too, and thank you so much for your contribution to this program. It is 11:14 here in the studios of 1:14 p.m. here in the studios of 1FM 98.9. Thank you so much for your participation in today's program. You're listening to Voices, and I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. We're heading back to the phone lines. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello, Devon. I am here again. You're talking about vehicular traffic, and that includes pedestrian as well as drivers. I realize we are living at a time when many of our people is going through a lot of stress. I'm not making an excuse for people. As well as economically, you have the increase again. You would believe that drivers, especially passenger bus drivers, public service vehicles, they would try the best to make as much money as possible. But the faster you drive is the more gasoline you consume. And so, definitely, with the COVID still here, and now you have the war that would actually increase, already start to increase the gasoline. Mentally, psychologically, we are affecting quite a lot of our people. And what I can say is we need to maybe put a cap on buses. I don't know if it's already been done, because this is hustling time. And another thing again, this gasoline price would go up. That's why I was saying we have to prepare our people. And passengers, sooner or later, the bus driver would go and ask for an increase. That's why I say it's very important to have the present situation. There's going to be a lot of stress on pedestrians and drivers equally. Another thing I observed is that you had some pedestrian crossing in certain locations. The road was resurfaced, and it's taking some time before they can have those crossing replaced, So I don't know. I would like to see that, so that people could, pedestrians could at least use the road safely. Another thing in down by my way there, at half a tree as the mayor, I would like to see them continue that sidewalk where the pedestrian use in an area down there, especially when you're going to the boatyard. A gentleman get killed some time ago by a bus right there by where Samson resident. I would like them to continue to have that walkaway, because buses, vehicular traffic on a whole comes in from that New Guinea area, but quite speedy coming through there. And so I want them to continue the walkway, and that mountainside, so that people could be safe. But Devon, we have to look at the mental state of our people's mind and prepare them and help them to adjust. Thank you very much.
All right, and thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much for your participation and contribution to this program. We'll still taking your calls. It is 18 minutes past the hour of 1. Of course, we're winding down. We will end this program at 1:30. Let me say thank you so much for your contribution and participation to this program. The phone lines are open, and we want to hear from you, the listeners of WINN FM 98.9. Call us at 466-0989 and 762-0989. The conversation is centered around road safety and how people use the road, pedestrians and drivers alike. And as I said, there's some people who use the road very recklessly, and they have no regard for what is happening around them. Let's head back to the phone lines, and we'll take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Oh, good afternoon, Deborah. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Oh, you enjoying my birthday, celebrating.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man, it's great to be alive, you know.
Okay, what's on the lineup for today? What are you doing today?
Listening to you, and I have been visited and I buy my phone, the last one, the handset, but they have the next one.
Okay.
So I am here where I can accept calls. So I want to thank all those who have been calling me. I do appreciate it. It's nice to know you appreciate it, eh?
Yes, it is.
It's better than somebody give you a gift and they don't know nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. There's no meaning
So
behind
I do
it.
appreciate all those who call me, who tried to call, and the phone was busy. And I got a visit from some of my colleagues down at the McNight Community Center, the blind ones.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. We had a good time, singing and sharing scripture and everything. So I really, really have been having a good birthday. Happy birthday to my daughter's my granddaughter's father, Craig Martin of a Monkey Hill. He works at TDC Home and Building Center. He's the driver of the bus. So all of you at TDC, tell Craig happy birthday. ISP, they call him. Happy birthday, Craig. Happy birthday to Paulita Nelson. And also to my great nephew, my nephew's son. His name is Jeremiah Williams. Today all of us celebrating. My granddaughter will be celebrating on Wednesday, Zoe Jules. Now let me get to the traffic thing. Well, I used to drive. And I remember getting into accident caused by, pedestrian for one. There was a crossing where Lime used to be, Scantel, up on Keon Street.
Yes.
People used to just walk out, neither look left nor right, and walk straight across. And one day, I had to mash the brakes to prevent knocking on somebody. And somebody ram into the back of my vehicle. We have this habit in St. Kitts, we write upon the people.
Yeah.
Right up. I go to the Virgin Islands and I look and I say, boy, the people space out themselves. You understand? A long line of cars, but they space out. But we write upon one another. Now, let me get to the crossing guards. Now, most of them do their jobs good, eh? But there are some of them who use the position to execute vengeance. They're partial. Some of them, they don't like you. They ticket you. I remember one time I went up at the airport to drop off a computer I was shipping to my daughter who was down in the Virgin Islands. What they say, drop off only?
Yes.
So I drove there to deliver the computer. The man from Leas Cargo told me, Mrs. Henry, just come in, I'm going to take 5 minutes. Mine, I did not stop there because I wanted to. The man said, stop there where I could take out the computer and bring it into the office myself.
Right.
When I come back out, I take it on my car. So the man asked how we could get a ticket and you didn't even spend, not even 5 minutes in there. I had to ask, darling, what did I do you? Because I come to the airport regularly, and I just see cars there park up. And I explained to you that I was told by the clerk to bring my thing in. I think I had to pay $250, something like that.
Wow.
But I paid it, But I said to myself, I had to ask, I said, darling, is it because I don't support your party? Because people use all of these things, You see some blatant disregard for the law. And you want to know, did they see? Did he see? Did she see? So if we can execute, and we got to use reason. And another thing about disabled people, because that used to be my problem. Now, where I live in Newtown, or Pan site, as we call it. That's the correct name. Pan Road that goes to the fire station. Well, that's another highway, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can call it a highway, because the way they drive. And there have been many mornings when I'm trying to take the bus that takes the disabled people, 2151.
Mm-hmm.
The bus will be parked up on the southern side of the road with its blinkers and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Waiting to pick me up. A young lady there with me. I have a cane because I'm blind. And I tell you, for the life of me, nobody want to stop.
Yeah.
They were flying across. I said, well, wait, look at that to kill somebody. Because at least if you did not know, the mere day I have a cane, and a white cane, so you can see. You can see from a distance. But does it not matter to you? Sometimes I'm standing up there nearly 5 minutes or more waiting just to cross the road. I think they must be more considerate. One of these days you get old, you could get blind when you're young because we have young blind people.
Right.
You have people who are disabled, who belong to our association, who when they go by the light, before somebody help them, you know, the walk across leave you. And some drivers are very impatient. It's on green. The person start before, but you know, they're slow. Be a little more careful, you know, on the lookout.
Yeah, you know, and not to interject, not to cut you off, but another issue I recently observed, you know, down, what you call it, you know, where the Royal Bank was, which is now Bank of Nevis, there in town?
Yes.
So, you know,
Fourth Street.
Right. So you have some traffic lights there. And usually that's a really, really busy area where the traffic lights are.
Yeah, because they're coming from the Berrywood.
Right. So drivers would be coming down from both directions, and the lights are going from green to red. Mind you, the lights are going from green to red, which means you have to stop, because at that point people are coming across, and the sign would tell you whether you should stop, which is a hand, or if you should walk, which is a moving person.
Yeah.
People are speeding up trying to beat the red light. And
I know.
And so in the process of speeding up, people are stepping into the road and vehicles are passing with one racket.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, oh my gosh, this is going to get ugly very soon if people
they're out to kill
don't
people,
just...
man.
That's what I'm
Some of them
saying.
thirsty for blood.
That's what I'm saying, because that is
I mean,
how it
you
looks.
see the Bay Road? That's it, after the pass. Thank God I put in that one. But the Bay Road, I used to walk before I lost my sight completely. I used to go walking every morning. And it's like you got to take your life in your hand to get from the seawall to over by the Sal, at the other side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Mind, you put out your hand a long time, you know. But they're coming at such a racket. It is difficult for them to slow down, and that's a 40-mile-hour road, they say.
Yeah.
I mean, drivers have got to be a little more considerate, a little more. Because, you see, when they kill somebody now, they regret it, because they really didn't go to do it.
Right, right.
But you did. By your action speak. And now for Greg. Now Greg is talking about the times when society was agrarian. Everybody was planting or mining sheep and goat or cattle. You cannot compare those society with the one today. And saying, oh, you know, the Bible say. The Bible didn't see computer. You never see, you know, people who don't farm, where they're living and their life depend on doing other kind of work. I mean, Greg, you're making Christianity look bad and backward. Oh, people, if it becomes private, it means you're going to have to pay toll fees. And if you ever think about that.
Right, right.
And the world could decide
it has
who
to be
could pass on
maintained.
it.
Right, that's true.
You know, you got to be thinking roads have to be public goods so any and anybody could pass. Because the society that Greg is talking about is the enrichment of a few who own the resources and the impoverishment of the masses. So to say, oh, well, the Bible didn't, a lot of things the Bible didn't say. But God expects us to use good judgment all across in Proverbs. You talk about good judgment. That is why you have safety nets for the poor. Or the government shouldn't do that. Well, in a country like St. Kitts, how many organizations could afford to manage and provide the safety net that we have today?
Yeah.
I mean, be reasonable. You're making the Bible look bad. All right, then.
All right. Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. We are at the end of Voices here on WinFM 98.9. Let me say thank you guys so much for your participation in today's program. Without you, it would not have been possible. But until next time, I see you on Wednesday. Stay safe. Whether it's, I think it would be me or Socrates. But we continue Voices on Wednesday. Thank you so much. And until next time, you guys stay safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands, please. Begging you to wear your seatbelts. Drivers, take your time on the road. Pedestrians, please take your time on the road. This has been another edition of Voices. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, see you guys very soon.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.